Hello, Guardians. Welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I am one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is my co-host of Prophecy, Josh Finney.
Ooh, boy. We just recorded a gigantic Xbox Casuals. We're here to talk about happier subjects in Destiny.
Thank God.
Thank God there are no layoffs to report this week from Bungie.
No layoffs, no art theft, no delays.
No plagiarism.
No $2 million on vehicles from the studio.
God, no analyzing Pete's car auction history.
Oh my gosh, dude.
We're not doing any deep dives on that tonight, but
dude, if there was something bad to talk about on Tower Casuals, I would have just said we're not recording either show. I can't do this.
I would have gone solo and just been exasperated for the whole hour and a half.
Oh, I wouldn't have done that, but I would have really wanted to, because
it has been a very frustrating couple of weeks for sure.
Oh my gosh, Josh,
couple of days. It's been a really rough 24 hours, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially because we just talked about this on Xbox Casual, so I don't want to take too much time here, but Project Blackbird, another supposed Destiny killer that we only found out was a Destiny killer after its cancellation over at Bethesda, was supposed to be a looter shooter MMO with Blade Runner noir vibes. Man,
that sounds cool, man.
Top 10 canceled games that I never saw gameplay of that I will be sad about.
It's like what Lightfall should have been. It sounds like.
Oh my God. On that note, we're going to talk about Destiny because holy shit, I can't talk about Lightfall right now. Guys, we have one more episode after this, maybe, before The Edge of Fate comes out.
Unless they delay it.
Well, I was saying the maybe is for me. This might be my last show before Edge of Fate comes out due to personal circumstances beyond my control. But man,
just for one show, everybody, not like forever.
Just for one show. I'm not leaving forever. I did post this in the Discord earlier that I may only have this show in me before I take one off. What's that? Fucking lightning outside? That was bright if it was. Just due to some personal circumstances. So I'm gonna have to emergency go out of town real quick. But we had another live stream this week, and it really went into a lot about the Portal. We had a cool launch trailer. Am I the only one who felt like these live streams were really underwhelming?
No.
I understood that the first one was underwhelming for us because a lot of us watched the content creator videos, but the average player probably isn't seeking that stuff out. This one, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just zoned out after maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, I
was really bothered by here's the end of a mission in the campaign. That really bothered me, and I think that's where I stopped paying attention, to be frank.
Yeah, it was weird, man. This whole rollout has not been ideal.
No.
And it doesn't make me concerned for the expansion at all, but just I feel like every time an expansion comes out, we go through the lows of it's going to be a really long season because they delayed it 6 months or whatever. But then 2 or 3, 6 to 8 weeks before the expansion comes out, they roll out some stuff. And, last year we had Into the Light and, Pantheon and all these cool things that got us really hyped for the final shape. And the final shape was excellent. Yeah. Right. And now we just kind of went through the same thing, but we haven't hit that, that upswing yet, to the point where it's almost like when the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, I was like, I don't feel like a new console's coming out. I don't feel like a new expansion is coming out.
I'm going to be real. I feel like I've been on that upswing most of the season, frankly, because Heresy was such a large step up from both Echoes and Revenant for me. It got me excited again to play the game, and then seeing the reveal came at just the right time, and oh shit, it's 9 themed. That was really cool. And then it was radio silence for 6 weeks until 2 weeks ago. It was just pure radio silence. That blows my mind. I don't understand. I don't understand it, Corey.
And maybe it's just because I've been in and out of the game so much this the last, I don't know, couple months because I've been playing other games like Expedition 33, and obviously Switch 2 came out and I had to cover that. And, you know, I don't know, man. And maybe it's because I'm not playing a lot of the in-game stuff either, because I just don't have time because, you know, children.
That's my territory these days.
And, you know, I mean, I've been working till like 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night sometimes later when I don't have a show to record. Like, maybe it's a me thing, but I just like, and it sucks because I think everything about this season looks like, it sounds cool. Like everything we've talked about on this show leading up to it and everything, it's cool. Like I'm totally ready to play new Destiny, especially because there's so much mystery surrounding this. This is the first time we really don't know what's going to happen in a long time.
I mean, we kind of talked about this last week. This is basically Destiny 3 in all but name.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I see the arguments of people being like, oh, they should have just released Destiny 3. I think that's so much harder to market than you guys understand. We just went through an hour of talking about how Xbox canceled a lot of stuff that was in development for too long, or they didn't know how to sell it to the public in a crowded marketplace. That Bethesda MMO.
Well,
so
Aaron Greenberg couldn't sell water to the ocean, though. Let's be
Aaron
honest.
Greenberg couldn't sell me a life jacket if I was drowning at this point. So, and I don't.
He could sell you a special edition controller you can't buy though, Josh.
He'll sell me the special edition. He'll show the special edition life jacket that only 1 out of 50 people on that Titanic are allowed to have. Spoiler alert: it's the door that Rose was on.
Oh my god.
The man never saw an opportunity to, you know, power your dreams, baby, power your dreams. I think that Bungie is in this like weird limbo because they're clearly being absorbed by SIE right now. They have so much controversy around them. They're clearly trying not to be on camera as much as possible. I do find it interesting that DMG has been the one doing the 2 live streams and not Andy. It's been a nice change of pace. Don't get me wrong. It feels a lot less scripted.
Yeah.
It feels more casual. Like with Andy, I feel like, and
like
this is no disrespect. I like Andy, but I feel like I'm in a business meeting at times with him because he's reading like directly from the teleprompter.
Yeah.
Dylan very clearly is just like fumbling his way through it, and I love it. I love it. This is a man who just clearly does not want to be on camera, but he's there because it's his job.
Mm-hmm.
These live streams have been really awkward. I said I wanted more of these. I don't know if I want more of these. I don't know if I want more live streams.
I just feel like there's people that aren't camera ready to talk about this stuff. Like, you know, like that's back in the day.
I don't actually mind that because that was always one of my favorite things about old E3 was that you would get these awkward people who never should be on stage or on camera.
Right, but that was for like 10 minutes, not like an hour and a half trying to demo the game, right? Like, I mean, remember when Liana was there and like they did the whole like pirate thing for Plunder, right? Like, regardless of what you think about the season, that marketing for that season was really good. You know, like that whole reveal was good. Or like, I
think back to what Griffin did with the social accounts and impersonating Sabbath.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff was cool. But like, it just feels like it feels like Bungie doesn't have anybody that's like camera ready to provide information for the game, which is like, they're game developers. It's not really their jobs, right? But like, I think every industry now, you have to be multifaceted, and if you are somewhat higher than like an entry level position, you have to be somewhat media trained and camera ready, right? Like that's just how the world works now, right? Like we are, you know, where I work, we're kind of struggling with that right now of like, you know, who's camera ready, and
just put Dave Samuel on every live stream. That'll solve the problems.
Yeah.
Just roll Dave out there. You don't have Joe there anymore. You don't have Luke there.
Yeah. Get Josh and I out there. We'll do it.
Roll me out there, Bungie. Accept one of my multiple applications after multiple interviews. Let's go.
I don't know if you heard Josh. about everything that's going on there recently. I don't think they're hiring right now.
I don't think they are either. Also, I think I've said one too many choice things about Bungie. That was a whole debate I saw online this week. Was like, oh, the content creators are just, they're afraid to criticize Bungie because they don't want to lose access. And it's like, really? I feel like content creators have never had more freedom to speak freely about Bungie and about the state of the game.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, did you hear all
I
the
feel
stuff?
like the relationship with creators and with the community, well, maybe not the community, but with creators is at an all-time high to me.
Yeah,
I think it's I think it's been great. Like, I actually really like, the more that I reflect on it, the more I like that they had content creators come and do the first impressions rather than somebody like, I mean, like PC Gamer was there still, right? But like, it wasn't like the IGNs of the world or something like that. Like, I think that's kind of what hindered Marathon a little bit,
yeah,
was that their reveal was really awkward because, yeah, you had streamers playing it and you were talking about the game and you had all these puff pieces come out. Like, I don't know how you reveal a multiplayer only game in today's day and age that doesn't have a story. I just don't know how you reveal that, but I feel like they need to figure that out. They clearly want to do more live streaming. Like, they're investing more and more into like a studio setup, which is cool, but just
yeah.
let's get
I
some
mean,
people who know what they're doing. Like, I think the decision to like,
right.
and I kind of wondered aloud about this, but I actually like it the more I think about it. Bringing Milo in as one of your creators that you brought to the Edge of Fate previews, because he's a fairly new player. He has a gigantic audience because of his zombies content.
Right.
Like, it's actually really great, I think, that you're partnering with him and you're having him come in, because he's asking the questions, like, as a new player and as someone who has like gotten super invested super fast into raiding and dungeons and the story and this and that. Like,
Which are the players you need? Like, that's the kind of
those are the players
person
you need. And if you got people following him for that kind of stuff that he does in zombies, like, imagine if those people start coming and playing Destiny. Like, that's a partnership to invest in. Like, yeah, I'm a little bit jaded that I'm seeing like creators that have been working on stuff for like 8 to 10 years and never get invited to one of these despite having like huge subscriber numbers or something like that. Like, yeah, sure, it bothers me, it annoys me. But at the same time, like, people watch Datto and Fallout and Astacross and Benji and people like that. Like, they have the people that they watch. Rick Kakis, like, they have all these people that they've watched for years and years and years. And Milo's kind of like a new kid on the block, but he's approaching this as a new light. He's brought plenty of new players into it already, like people that he plays games with, who are now making content around this game.
Right.
And
which is
are
great
asking the questions that we've been asking. So now even new players are asking what we've been asking for years in some cases.
Right. And I think it's good because
It's great.
He's not like an old veteran curmudgeon, right? Of like,
no,
right. And
he's not being an asshole about it either.
Right. And like, no offense to like Astacross or Datto or anything. Right. But like,
sure.
They've been playing the game for so long and they know every single in and out of the game to the point where, like, if something doesn't hit exactly the way they want or expect, it's like,
it's the end of the world.
It's and it's like, Milo's coming in as like, I'm just curious, like, I just want to know because I am super into this game right now. And I just want to know, which is awesome. We need more players like that. So. Oh, Destiny.
But let's go ahead and jump on into some of this news that they gave us this week. They talked a little bit about so the launch trailer looks really cool. Okay, just straight up, it looks cool. It's cloaked in mystery. We saw a little bit more of Lodi and like the era that he comes from. It very much gave like a
Fallout vibe to it almost.
It gave like a JFK Zombies Black Ops feel.
Yeah.
Almost like OG Zombies. That's all I thought of when he was picking up that phone. I thought I was watching the Black Ops 7 trailer or something. Just without Milo Ventigma this time. And I thought some of the things they talked about were really, really cool in this presentation, though. Specifically, I loved talking about world tiers. I like the world tier system in games like Diablo. Make it as hard or as easy as you want. I like that it's there. They've said they want you to be able to replay these campaigns and replay this content. I like that. There are side quests tied to this. You get side quests after finishing the campaign, which I think they experimented with in the past. Like, we got a little bit in... We've gotten like an exotic epilogue quest, right? In the last couple of campaigns.
Yeah.
Really going all the way back to, I would say, Shadowkeep.
Mm-hmm.
That's like always kind of been a thing. You've had one or two exotic quests. Well, Final Shape did it in a new way. Yes, there was an exotic at the end of all of it. We did eventually get, Dual Destiny, and we eventually got the Microcosm mission, but I think that it was really cool because you had the quest with Zavala and the Cabal, you had the quest with Mithrax, you had the Savathun quest that ended in Dual Destiny, which was a just fascinating approach to a quest. I like things like that. Mm-hmm. And if that's the kind of side quest content I can expect, but more fleshed out, then I'm here for it. I'm very excited for that.
Yep.
There's going to be a 3-player activity on Kepler. They confirmed that, and they said, they're taking inspiration from like Coil and Vex Offensive for it. Now, hearing Vex Offensive made me go, ooh, I don't know. I don't know about that. Vex Offensive was rough.
Yeah, but new players don't know that.
There's some we saw some Banes that you had to break using the Kepler abilities. I thought that was very cool. That added a new dynamic. I can't wait for that to be a thing in the raid where you have to use. I hope there is a race where you have to be in the Samus balls to get away from something. I think that would just be so fun.
Like you have to travel through this like maze as the Samus ball while like there's fire.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like almost like the Sparrow run that where you're chased by a wall of fire and the machine or something.
Yeah, it's not Wrath of the Machine. That's the Death Zamboni.
Oh yeah,
it's Scourge of the Past.
Yeah.
Scourge of the Past, and also the mission inside Callus's ship in Lightfall.
Yeah.
You have to race out. I'll never forget good old Colonel Panic dying to that wall of fire and just screaming. Because he didn't know what was coming. Me and Nerd took off. We were gone. We were gone like the Dickens. Something I'm less sold about, and I could just continue to sour on the more I see it, and I feel like it's something I got to get my hands on. I fucking hate the portal. I hate this portal thing.
It's
I think this is so much more confusing than it needs to be.
Yeah, especially because like they're making it so it's not confusing, right? Like so it's like a clean interface for you.
If you have to keep emphasizing that it's not confusing, it's confusing.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all. I'm sure I will get better on it. Things I do like about this. Let me start with the things I do like about the portal. The seasonal hub. I love the seasonal hub. Mm-hmm. It gives you some objectives you can work on at any time. The track resets every week, but you can get Bright Dust out of it. You can get Engrams out of it. They didn't show the third page, and Dado said that he was able to see it and was not allowed to talk about what was on there. So that leads me to believe there's some good shit on there. I like seeing that. I like seeing the update to the rewards pass. I think things like that are cool. I actually think that being able to customize your experience with the modifiers is really cool. I just don't like how you get there in terms of selecting the activities. But I think some of those were really cool. Solo ops, fire team ops, crucible ops, pinnacle ops. Like that's just weird. Section dedicated to exotic missions. We've reworked guardian ranks. Everybody's getting a reset to guardian rank 2, which is also weird for me. The Conqueror Seal's getting revamped. We know that. Seasonal hub, weekly ranks, daily and weekly challenges, more gear to earn, resets every week. Conquests available at this hub and progress through different difficulty settings. You'll earn the Conqueror title. You will keep your resets if you've reset them. I'm really glad that I went and gilded it for once this year. There's power. It's going to be talked about more in this. But yeah, I think overall, like the live stream was fine. It was just like, damn, find a better way to articulate some of this stuff. They had to come out and offer some clarifications because Paul Tassi wrote a scathing piece over on Forbes.
No way, Paul Tassi writing a scathing piece.
There is a long message from the Destiny 2 team here that I'm damn near tempted to reply to with the I ain't reading all of that, but I'm happy for you or sad for you, whichever it is. They offered some clarifications here. I'm not going to go into Paul Tassi's article mainly because I don't have a Forbes subscription, but they solo ops and crucible ops are completely separate. Solo ops have new activities set in familiar locations, which we've seen the demonstration of some of those. Crucible ops support various fire team sizes and let us surface reward bonuses and event modes when they're active. We chose he was upset, like a lot of people were, that they used an Empire Hunt as an example of an activity. And they say, we chose an existing activity to specifically focus on new modifiers. We want to focus on the modifiers we made in that segment over anything else. Fireteam Ops will have rotating activities and modifiers that support matchmaking and playing immediately. You can leverage matchmaking here or hop in the Fireteam Finder with pre-selected goals like new players welcome or looking for experience. If you choose to customize this and dial in the challenge rewards, you will need a pre-made Fireteam. That makes sense.
Yep.
Fireteam Leader has full control over the activity and customization. Finder offers various tags to pre-communicate goals for a given session. We're hopeful that in-game chat will be leveraged here for fire teams to come to an agreement on modifiers and score targets. As long as you're running the hardest configuration, your fire team power supports, everyone will get the best rewards. So yeah. Fire Team Finder seems like it is dumb. I think Fire Team Finder is going to be really, really bad with this. I'm going to be totally honest. Totally, completely honest. Somebody replied to Paul saying, to the Destiny 2 replies saying, I still find it weird to focus on pre-made fire teams or clunky text communication when the population is extremely low. Usual friend and clan lists are barren now. I get it. I even like the possibility of customizing my experience, but it's convoluted and not new player friendly. I completely agree with this. So I'm interested to see how Fire Team Finder evolves with this. I don't really love having to read into replies on Twitter, but that's kind of where we are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, jumping back to the TWAB, we got a Rite of the 9 update. If you've not logged into Rite of the 9 this week and you want to farm out some holo foils or you want to farm out some currency for those fancy engrams, I've already hit my 20 engram cap on those. That's not a daily cap. That is a cap, period. As I have come to discover. I bought 20 of them and was locked out. I got some really cool things that were not in the data mined list and not even on the possibility of dropping list from the engrams. Some cool, some not cool. I got 3 fucking holo chips, Corey, and I'm so tired of getting holo chips. 3 of my 20 engrams were holo chips. Did not feel good. Did not feel good when I was missing several of the finishers and ornaments. Really, the only thing I was really bummed that I did not get was the Iron Banner finisher. The axe finisher. I did get 2 of the 4 finishers, though, that were in the preview screen. So, pretty happy about that. Got a Dead Man's Tail ornament. Got the Gallarhorn skimmer. Got the Witcher 3 Ghost and Sparrow. I came away with some good stuff, honestly. I was very impressed with the monetary value of what I came away with, honestly. I only got 1 transmat effect out of all of it, thank God. So, as a reminder, there will be some free engrams being handed out next week. Each day that you log in next week for the week leading up to the Edge of Fate, you will get a free Naneri engram from the Emissary. And the old Daybreak modifier is back. I love Daybreak. Daybreak is back for both Explorer and Eternity modes. That is where you recharge your super fast, and I believe it also gives you health when you cast your super. So we were farming out First Encounter and Prophecy for about 2 hours this evening, and it was a lot of fun. I had a good time with that. That'll be active until Rite of the 9 ends. So you got about 10 more days to go enjoy that. I would strongly encourage you, if you're still chasing some things, to go do that. As a reminder, 2 Servants of the 9 are bringing gifts to Guardians. Zur and the Emissary will have desirable exotics that will be part of the featured gear on day 1 of the new expansion. Bring your strange coins, Denary manifolds, and snag some loot. So, Whisper is something you can go buy from the Emissary right now. Polaris Lance you can go buy. I find it very funny that you can just go buy Whisper. That's actually hilarious to me.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh my God.
I was
Corey.
like, whatever. It's fine. I don't know why. I'm not a sniper, and I already have like 2 of them in my vault that have.
Yeah, but is it the craftable one? Because this is the craftable one.
Of course, it's not the craftable one, Josh. Do I look like a man who crafts, Josh?
No. Gonna be completely honest with you. Starting July 1st, players may purchase 20 Denarii Engrams using 350 manifolds. Starting July 8th, players will be awarded 1 Engram each day just for signing in. July 8th through 15th, Lootapalooza will begin. Increased currency rewards and weapon drops from enemies in all dungeons. Even more increased loot from the final boss chest when completing all encounters. This is really cool, and they've spread it to Crucible. Crucible this week is getting double drops, including in Trials of Osiris. So I will absolutely be in Trials this weekend, trying to finish out my armor set for this year, and get any weapon rolls that I want before they go away. I'm very, very excited for that. Also, like chance at getting the ship or something like that. Get a ship, get a ghost, an emblem, etc. Very excited for that. Wish they had extended this to be like as part of Iron Banner last week too. Feels a little weird, but whatever. And then they actually tweeted out just as we went live with Xbox Casuals that next week Lootapalooza is also going to extend to the Heresy activities and more on Rite of the Nine. Holofoil weapons will be increased from Rite of the Nine's dungeons. There will be 9 of those that will be increased. I don't know if that's just 9 period, but and then increased heretical weapons from Nether and Court of Blades for the seasonal weapons. Those are the adept versions, obviously. I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is cool. I really wish that they would have done the Court of Blades shit a couple weeks ago or something. It would have given people, I think, more reason to play these activities if you would have spaced some of this out. The holofoils, I understand waiting until the last week or so to do that, but still feels a little bad.
Yeah.
I am hoping that this extends to being on the hardest difficulty, though, because I will absolutely go in there and just abuse 1 encounter per dungeon for some adepts. Particularly Prophecy, I'll be going in and just abusing it for some shiny adepts, personally. But I think that's cool. It's a way to keep you engaged. Like, usually I take the week off before an expansion, and I'm going to be playing so much now.
Yeah.
One last Rite of the Nine dungeon hurrah before diving into the new expansion. Team at Destiny Tracker are running 2 weekends of Challenger on Prophecy and Spire from July 4th through 6th to complete Prophecy on Eternity mode as fast as you can, and the 11th through the 13th, Spire. Solo, duo, or the full fire team. You can win prizes like silver, one of 9 exclusive Star Horse inspired headphone holders, and a premium Rite of the Nine themed PC unit created by Overkill. I think that's really, really cool that they're doing that. All participants who sign up will receive the 9-crowned emblem. So I'm very interested in this. The silver is obviously just for first, second, and third. I'm looking at this right now. First, second, and third. First place team, 12,000 silver. Second, 6,000. Third, 3,500, and then fourth is 23, fifth 17, sixth 1,100, and then 7th through 9th 500. And it'll be the same for Spire as well. I do not know. Okay, so I'm reading some of this just because people will probably ask at some point. Public leaderboards will showcase the fastest runs, and top players will earn in-game prizes. Blah blah blah. Connected Bungie ID is required to verify your runs and distribute prizes. You may play in multiple runs across different team formats on both weekends, but your placement on the leaderboard is tied to you as an individual. There's no limit to the number of runs you can complete. Do I need to record my run? Yes. After the event ends, top 10 players in each category will receive an email requesting a full VOD of their best run. That's fascinating. I did not watch their video to see what you have to do to win the PC, but I imagine that you have to come in first both weekends or something silly like that. All right. So if you're interested, I'm actually gonna mute my PC real fast, or mute this tab at least, and try to watch this video real fast.
He's gonna watch it, everybody.
Tells us how to get this PC. I'm trying.
How are they gonna get it?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Trying to stay quiet, but also
no, it's fine. I have it muted, so you're fine.
Oh.
You're fine.
I was gonna, try to stay quiet so you could hear it, and
I muted it. It's fine.
But then dead air.
It's coming with a 5060 Ti in it. It's cool. The case that it's in is really sleek. I think that's really cool.
Cool.
So it is just a random person who competes in this will win. So that's cool. I'm going to I mean, I will I will do it just for the emblem, honestly, even though I know I will not have anywhere close to a top 10 time. I still look forward to doing this for that and for a chance to win that PC. I think it's cool. The raid race is coming back on July 19th, and of course there is going to be an emblem. If you watch it, that's a really sleek looking emblem. There's a GCX emblem also. There is a specific way to win it. They're actually doing a panel at GCX this year with Alison Lures and Hannah Flipisky. I don't know how to say her name. I'm so sorry, Hannah. Talking about D2's narrative craft with a special focus on the Edge of Fate, but how the story goes from initial pitch deck all the way through development to launch. I think that's really, really cool. Damage will be there also, and then there is a special guest lined up also, so I'm curious to know who that is. But we got to get to the meat and potatoes of tonight. We have a lot to talk about with weapon changes and with power grind, so let's just get into it. What's changing in the sandbox, the last sandbox update, hopefully, that we're reading before the Edge of Fate?
Is this one of those massive TWABs that we were promised?
Yeah, this is huge. I am only a quarter of the way through it right now. So this is why I brought multiple drinks, friends. This is the second hour-long pod that we have done tonight that we've had to talk extensively in. So
sippy sip from Josh. Oh boy, that's like a real drink.
It's a bum energy.
Mm.
As far as a this is not sponsored, by the way, but as far as a 5-calorie energy drink goes, this is what I like. One bum is equivalent to a 12-ounce cup of coffee in terms of caffeine. I really love this one. Championship mentality. I don't know how to describe what it tastes like, but it's very good. It's that and Blue Snow Cone are my two favorites by them.
You know who doesn't have championship mentality? Nico Harrison.
Okay, can I know I said it last week, but I have Cooper fucking Flag on my team, Corey.
I know.
I was at the draft party. I was so excited, and then that motherfucker had to open his mouth on Friday, and I was just so upset. We just trusted the process. You traded Luca, you bum. You got a 1.8% chance to win the lottery. That is not trusting the process. That is stumbling ass backwards into generational talent. We still lost God Shamgod in the process. I'm upset about that. That was this afternoon's blow to my optimism.
Did you see the LeBron James to the Mavs rumor going around today?
I did, unfortunately. Did you see the package we would have to give up?
Yeah. And
it's like our entire bench. Our entire bench would be gone. But despite all my feelings about Nico Harrison and Cooper Flag and LeBron James, we have the LeBron James of updates here to get through because it's a long ass job. We're going to start with LMGs. Staged reloads. LMGs generally have very long reload animation times that it can be punishing when canceled. We've added several checkpoints from which the animation can now be resumed if it is interrupted mid-load. So that's interesting. When a player cancels a reload animation starts again, it will reload from the last checkpoint. I assume that means when you have to swap weapons to kill something that's running at you really fast, or to cast a super or something, or dodge or drop a rift or whatever. That's cool. That could be really interesting, or it could be really annoying. They said they're trying it out. So, glaives have had reduced projectile tracking strength at close range to avoid behavior that made projectiles less accurate. there's a lot of perk changes here. Reconstruction, increase the amount transferred per activation from 10% to 25%. I think that's really cool. I like that on snipers. Snipers and shotguns particularly is where I really like Reconstruction. Paracausal Affinity, there's a visible timer to the buff. Kinetic Tremors is getting a really, really big one, which I am absolutely a fan. I love this. Decrease shots to activate on certain weapons and subfamilies. Each of these have been taken down several hits. High impact auto rifles, aggressive and high impact scout rifles, hand cannons have received specific tuning, which include aggressive, adaptive, and precision. Those are all going down from 6 to 4, 5, and 6 respectively. Once you punch will now work with all melee abilities. That's been covered before. Attrition orbs. Increase perk progress by 20% across the board, which if you have the multi-mock with this, you are thrilled hearing this because it was already good. It's even better now. And then reduce progress by 80% with area denial grenade launchers. So versus Velocity Baton, we thank you for your service. Surprisingly not as noticeable as it sounds. I'll be the judge of that. I also don't have that. So in your face. Suck on it, Bungie.
Jeez.
Increased perk progress by 30% on swords. Swords with attrition orbs. I've never even thought about using that. Eager Edge is getting a PvE buff, essentially, and a nerf in PvP. You have to have a more direct look in PvP, and it improves target acquisition in PvE. I like this. Speedrunners like this. It's great in mobility. It's awesome. Valiant Charge is also going to get these updates. So, Chain Reaction. Thread links created by weapon perks will no longer activate the detonation from Chain Reaction. That makes sense. God, Chain Reaction, Dragonfly, and Firefly are all getting some changes here. They deal different amounts of damage to different targets based on the type of weapon that activates the perk. In many cases, this makes these perks even worse on weapons that do not use them well in the first place. It's harder to get a precision kill with this SMG than it is a hand cannon, but Dragonfly also deals less damage when an SMG activates it. We want perks to feel stronger on different weapon types for obvious reasons. So Chain Reaction, Dragonfly, and Firefly no longer use weapon archetype scaling. Some of the biggest winners from this change: fusion rifles will deal 41% more chain reaction damage to minor combatants. Jeez. SMGs deal 43% more Dragonfly and Firefly damage to minors. Auto rifles deal 47% more Dragonfly damage. Linear fusion rifles deal at 165% more chain reaction damage to minors and at least 125% more chain reaction to all other combatants. Swords deal 123 more chain reaction to minor combatants and at least 193% more chain reaction damage to all other combatants. That's really cool. I like hearing that. That sounds really fun. But 3 instances where they will be nerfed. Hand cannons deal 20% less Dragonfly and Firefly damage to majors. Sniper rifles deal 8% less Firefly and Dragonfly damage to minors. Special ammo wave frame grenade launchers, aka Lost Signal, deal 6% less chain reaction damage to major, champion, and mini boss combatants, and 14% less to ultimate combatants. Obviously, I know that this is not on Lost Signal. I'm using that as an example. They do not expect any of these to have serious impacts on balance or perk desirability. Man, that there's some things that can get really nutty here really fast, and I'm excited for it. Mm-hmm. Champion interaction changes. In Season 20, we added the ability for subclass verbs to stun champions and have since added those verbs to weapon traits and various exotic weapons. We quickly realized these weapons had issues when paired with anti-champion effects from sources like the Artifact or Radiant. To prevent erratic behavior, we barred certain exotics from gaining external anti-champion abilities. It has become unclear to the player which exotic weapons are excluded, so we decided to address this issue formally. We have now made certain exotic weapons, most of which apply to subclass verb, intrinsically anti-champ, and will adhere to the following soft rule from now on. Weapons that intrinsically have the anti-champion symbol in the weapon tray cannot receive anti-champion capabilities from the artifact or radiant-like effects. Otherwise, they can receive external anti-champion capabilities and be able to continue their subclass verb capabilities. That is very strange, but we have a list of them later on, I believe. All right, exotic weapon traits. Vigilance Wing is going to get Last Stand active when running solo and PvE activities. That's cool. I like that. Hierarchy of Needs is basically becoming Gallarhorn for bows, guys. Very excited for this. Players now gain charges of Guidance Ring with any hit from Hierarchy of Needs and now only need 3 charges to deploy the ring. The spawn Guidance Ring duration has been increased from 13 seconds to 20 seconds. The spawned ring now rotates to face its owner. Players are now limited to 1 Guidance Ring in the world per player. Spawning a second one will remove your previous ring. All bows now spawn missiles when fired through an allied Guidance Ring. Yes, all bows. So, the damage strat legit might be Hierarchy of Needs and 5 Leviathan's Breaths. What a world we live in. What a world we live in, Corey.
Crazy.
I know so many people who are excited for this, though. It's going to work with that. It's going to work with Trinity Ghoul. It's going to work with Wish Ender. Wish Keeper. Like, this is going to be so cool to see in the world. I can't wait to see some of the wacky shit that this is going to bring. Oh, oops, all bows. This is cool. I feel like it's not going to be like as good as Galley, but this is basically Gallarhorn for bows. That's really cool, especially with a subclass or with a weapon archetype that when you run out of your main bow, you can always switch to a secondary. You know,
it's true.
I think that's really cool too. So,
oops, all bows. Man, oops, all berries. What a great cereal.
I already know 2 day 1 teams that are planning to use this, so I think that's cool. Basically every raider that I know was very excited about this change earlier when we were going over it. DMT, each stack of Cranial Spike will now get you plus 3.4% damage versus combatants, max 17% at 5 stacks, and plus 1 rounds reloaded. I think that's cool. We made some adjustments to help it cancel out its long reload time and reward players for landing their headshots. That's cool. Duality has a second activator for on black wings. Now gives the buff when landing most of your pellets on a target. Navigator. Now when the user has Woven Mail, 25% increased damage in PvE, 5% in PvP, and an increased ammo generation stat. I think that's cool. Wicked Implement is now a rapid fire RPM. Takes 1 additional hit to start slowing and freeze to account for the faster rate of fire. Increase the size of the mag to 20 and is now intrinsically anti-overload. That's the most intriguing part about this change, I think, is that it's an anti-overload from the very beginning. Maybe I will actually use this weapon now that I went through absolute torture to get last year. Heart Shadow now has increased ammo, reduced cost of the heavy attack from 3 to 4. Or from 4 to 3, I guess I should say. And defeats while shot in the dark is active, make you invisible again. So that's cool. Other things that are kind of spicy in here. Devil's Ruin. We have reworked a weapon to remove its fire on release behavior, as well as making the beam more of a reward once it has been enabled. Beam is now behind a special reload. Kills with the weapon make fire spites, and picking up a fire spite enables the special reload. Beam now scorches on hit and ignites on kills. Is now intrinsically anti-unstoppable, and increased magazine size to 20. Devil's Ruin going to be a great pick for some of those higher level activities, I think now, especially if it becomes a featured weapon, which I think it is right off the bat. I think in Edge of Fate's launch, it's going to be one of the special exotics right away. Tommy's Matchbook is getting some changes to Heat Sink and Ignition Trigger, Winter Bite, and enhanced melee damage with ammo to 20% versus bosses, down from 50%. I think that's because it's just been like so good. It is also intrinsically anti-overload. So let's talk about weapons that are not rebalanced, but anti-unstoppable weapons right off the bat are going to be Queenbreaker, Salvation's Grip, and Dragon's Breath. I think that's cool, especially Dragon's Breath. And anti-overload, Darcy, Two-Tailed Fox, and Tractor Cannon. Tractor Cannon makes so much sense for this. I like it. A lot of people prefer to run tractor cannon versus having to sacrifice somebody to run a tether or a divinity. So I think that's a great option there. And maybe the most interesting one. I think this one's going to get really busted. And people are going to be mad because they don't understand how it works. Conditional finality can be either anti-overload or unstoppable, depending on which element is currently active. So if you're stasis or solar, respectfully. I'm interested to see how that behavior works with that gun. I have a feeling that's going to have to be, maybe put on pause pretty quickly in a live environment, but we'll see. Do, 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 do. PvP, they're basically got their finger on the trigger ready on a number of things, but are not ready to pull the trigger because they want to see how it works in the live environment first. But the big thing, one of the other big things we got to get to here is power reworks. Oh boy. So power, we've kind of gone over this, but I know they addressed it in the live stream. We're going to go into it a little bit more here. Power refresh, everybody's being reset to 10, which is interesting. Legacy power will still be visible on the power tooltip shown when you hover your power number if you want to know what your power would be in the old system. I think that's kind of cool. The power band is 10 to 200. Power will work as it traditionally did when playing up to the previous soft cap. Finding progress just by finding gear across whatever you want to play, from the expansion to PvP to patrols in classic destinations. Playing activities in the portal will offer increased progression, while completing missions and finding secret chests in Fate Saga expansions will offer the fastest progression. Lots of activity content will exist in the power band, including the entire Edge of Fate expansion, event activities, all legacy content, and even the new redacted raid. These activities won't ask you to earn more than 200 power to play at max effectiveness. They may offer rewards above 200 when played at harder difficulties. During the climb to 200, you'll be able to earn Tier 1, 2, and the occasional Tier 3 drop. This gear is as strong as legendary or adept weapons from before the Edge of Fate. Your progress up to the power cap will also stick around into the new season when Renegades releases in December, giving you constant access to gear as strong as or even better than what you're used to, as well as tons of activities to play. Seasonal power is now distributed throughout your weapons and armor instead of the artifact, which is really cool. It is bounty farming that didn't quite focus on overcoming new and greater challenges because it was all driven by XP. Seasonal power bonus will now live right on your weapons and armor instead of on the seasonal artifact. By overcoming harder challenges in PvE, customized by you, or challenging yourself in comp and trials, you can earn gear with greater amounts of seasonal bonus power that will increase your level beyond the power cap. This kind of reminds me of how we had to grind raids in year 1 of D1. That's really what this feels. The climb to 30, and you had to do the raids, or you had to do stuff like Iron Banner to be able to climb. Being the pinnacle activities. So I do like that approach. I think that's going to be really intuitive. Like, the people who want to climb above 200 are the people who are playing this all the time. Let's be honest. There are no longer weekly limits on how much progress you can earn either, so you can power climb for as long as you want to just by playing. Just like bonus power before it, seasonal bonus power levels are limited to the current season, and any weapons or armor above the power cap will be back to 200 at the start of the next season. I like that. It keeps it fresh. You keep playing. As we climb to 200, and by increasing your power level, you will be able to earn even higher tiers of armor and weapons with greater benefits. You'll be able to increase your power as much as 450 at launch. Earning higher enough grades from portal activities can give consistent growth all the way up to 400. 400 to 450 rewards will first come from the newly upgraded Prime Engrams, which drop with both higher power and higher gear tier than your regular rewards. Achieving high grades in portal activities improves your chances of finding Prime Engrams, which are also no longer limited by week. When Ash and Iron launches later this season, you'll be able to earn total power all the way up to 550. Regular rewards from portal activities will be able to drop up to 500, and Prime Engrams will reward up to the hard cap of 550. Those who reach 500 power will be rewarded with regular drops of highest tier of weapons and armor, Tier 5. This gear comes with both unique aesthetic qualities and the highest stats, so being able to consistently farm them will be an aspirational journey for the most ambitious Guardians. And check regularly what's happening in Portal. Challenges on the seasonal hunt page and events will be a great way to get bonus progression. I like that. It's rewarding those who want to play and build craft more than ever before. I like that. And I mean, like, hey, if a season's not really like tickling my fancy, then I'm not going to go crazy about it. I do think that this makes things like the raid significantly easier in terms of power as it goes on. I like that. I like some of the changes that are being made here, but also, like, I can customize the difficulty as much or as little as I want to, depending on how hard I feel like going in a particular season. So I can be as casual or as hardcore as I want now. I think that is one good thing about the portal.
Yeah.
Infusion. We've simplified Infusion to instead use enhancement cores directly, so you no longer need to make constant trips to Banshee. Any upgrade modules you may have in your inventory to the start of the Edge of Fate can be safely dismantled to reclaim 5,000 Glimmer and 1 enhancement core. You can infuse levels of seasonal bonus power into your favorite gear using a new currency called Unstable Cores. You'll find them from a variety of sources. The primary way to acquire them is by dismantling unneeded gear that has seasonal bonus power levels. The higher the bonus power of the item you dismantle, the greater number of unstable cores you'll receive. Infusing items with a larger difference in bonus power levels will take more cores. Cores will have a large inventory cap and will be refreshed at the start of the next season alongside bonus power. The reward forecast for any activities will preview exactly what power your reward will be when you reach the target score. You can curate exactly what kind of challenge you're in for, blah, 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 blah. Portal content will feature new daily bonus focused rewards across PvE and PvP. Both account-wide power progression and fire team power will be sticking around as well, so your progress will carry over to all your characters, and you can always play with your friends. I think all that's cool. Power progression really, really, really needed an overhaul. That is a pretty swell system to me. We're cutting down in the amount of currencies that you need. You still need prisms and golf balls, but hey, anything we can get out of there. Just let me dismantle entire stacks of cores, please. I have like 8 stacks of cores in my vault that I don't know what to do with. And I'm not going to sit there and delete them all individually one by one. I would need like a script to do that, and so I can like do literally anything else with my life. But there are some economy updates that we got to get to here really quickly. Core game activities will be your primary sources of Glimmer, Strange Coins, and Masterwork materials. These rewards will scale alongside your gear. Armor masterworking will have their costs changed. That basically the higher the tier is, the more it costs. If you notice the cost for tier 5 in the table below, don't worry. We're rebalancing the distribution of masterwork materials pretty dramatically when Edge of Fate arrives. Prisms will be a bit more common than they were previously to better fit their role between enhancement cores and ascendant shards. In core game activities, you have a chance for major enemies to drop masterwork materials, maybe even other goodies. There's a whole core chart here you guys can look at, but suffice it to say, when you get the masterwork level 5 on tier 5, it's going to cost you 9 cores, 5 prisms, and 2 golf balls, as well as 13,000 glimmer. So, and then exotic armor at tier 5 will be 8,500 glimmer, 5 cores, 2 prisms, 2 golf balls. So, and these changes only apply to new armor. Weapon masterworking is unchanged from how it worked previously, even if it may be revisited in a future release. Whew. We're almost there, Corey. We're almost there. We're almost at the end.
All right. Ready for
Destination materials are done. Destination materials are dead. Master Rahul will no longer accept them, and they will no longer have any value. After July 15th, you can dismantle Finest Matter Weaver, Dusklight Shards, Microphastic Data Lice, Barren Bow, Helium Filaments, Glacial Stalwart, and Spin Metal Leaves. We haven't had any new stuff since Beyond Light anyways for these, so I will be keeping a small stack of each in my vault just out of nostalgic purposes personally, because they will not be taken completely out. So I plan on keeping those in my vault. Activity rewards change. Oh my god, this is another huge section. This is it though. I think this is it. Vanguard Ops Onslaught. Brave Arsenal weapons are being moved to be part of Zer's wares. RIP. Only the standard non-foil versions of these weapons will be available. Obviously, Zal will no longer offer Onslaught attunement either. So interesting. Nightfalls. Nightfalls will remain accessible from the World tab in the Edge of Fate. They no longer work on a weekly rotator, but instead on a daily one, and will include all current Nightfalls and Battlegrounds. Nightfall weapons are now legacy gear. The loot pool will be updated to include all previous Nightfall weapons that have origin traits. Nightfall rewards are on a knockout list until all weapons have been unlocked. From then on, all weapons have a flat drop chance. Grandmaster Nightfalls no longer exist, as their purpose and function have been transferred to the portal screen and conquests. You will still experience Grandmaster difficulties just in other activities. Thank the fucking Lord. I hate Grandmasters. I did not find Grandmasters fun. I did not find them appealing to do. I am so happy that I never again have to experience a Grandmaster heist battleground if I do not fucking feel like it. Thank God. No more Lucent battlegrounds in the Cosmodrome. None of this chicanery. We're done. We're done. I'm moving on. I'm happy with it.
I wonder if they're going to change that achievement or trophy. The Grandmaster trophy.
For completing a it's like a master. It was used to be Master Nightfall.
It's a Master or a Grandmaster Nightfall, I think.
I mean, I imagine they'll still keep it.
I mean it was changed from doing.
They'll figure out a way to change it. I'm sure. Yeah, but
no, I'm sure. But I mean, it was originally the Leviathan raid achievement, and then they changed it because it didn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Oh, God, rest in piss, Grandmasters.
Yeah, you suck.
Never been so happy to see something get taken out of this fucking game. Legacy rituals. Ritual reputation reward tracks have been removed. Ooh. Ritual engrams have been removed. Ooh. Legacy focusing remains, but costs have been updated to be 15,000 glimmer and 3 enhancement cores for legacy armor and weapons. Great. I can finally go get all the Gambit weapons I wanted that I never got to drop. This is for Crucible Gambit and Vanguard Ops, which is interesting. And we have changes to vendor and reputation ranks. This is it. We are finally here at the end. But we have so many of these to get through. Let's start with Xur. Xur will no longer sell legendary armor in the Edge of Fate. All of Xur's legendary armor will move to 801, where she will sell them for cosmetic purposes. Cool. If you're missing any legendary armor that Xur sells for whatever reason, you can go get your transmog on. Xur will now sell 2 exotic armor pieces per class per week. One will be from the existing pools of exotics that Xur has always sold. One will be from Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Lightfall, Final Shape. You must own the expansion they are associated with in order to purchase them from Xur. I'm so happy. I'm going to go buy all the things on my Titan and Warlock that I've never owned. So excited for this. Xur will continue to sell Catalyst, but they've been moved to Strange Gear offers sub-menu. Exotic class items every week. You still have to do Dual Destiny or Festival of the Lost in order to get them. So RIP me playing on other characters with Prismatic. That also would require me to go play the expansions, which I don't want to do. Xur will sell 9 legendary weapons per week, 3 per slot, and class-specific swords are still in the inventory but will not be available every week. Xur has had Brave Arsenal added to his inventory. Legacy Nightfall and Trials weapons have also been added. Rare Chance at Adept weapons dropping for Nightfalls, Trials, and Heresy weapons. Standard weapons will cost 17 strange coins. Adepts will cost 41. And he has also had weapons from Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy added to the inventory, as well as Legacy Comp Crucible weapons. I assume that means anything from before the Edge of Fate. Which, if so, I'm going to get my Redrixes on, because I'm so excited for that. Xur will no longer sell Nightfall Cypers, Gambit Engrams, Crucible Engrams, Vanguard Engrams, or upgrade modules, obviously. Not going to go into 801. You guys can go read previous twabs about that. Banshee. Reputation rank reward track has been removed, and bounties no longer provide gunsmith rep. Dismantling gear no longer provides rep. Banshee will no longer sell upgrade modules. Gunsmith engrams have been removed from the game. Legacy weapons will cost 15,000 glimmer, 3 enhancement cores. Please, God, just have the haunted weapon so I get my last couple of fucking craftable weapons. Please. I'm begging you. I have 2 that I'm missing. Please let me get these godforsaken weapons. I mean, aside from Arms Day, I don't really know what the purpose of Banshee is anymore, unfortunately. But, what are you going to do about it? I feel like Banshee's just going to been like trugging along for a little while anyways. Yeah, Rahul. Sure. The Engram Insiders has been removed.
Oh, boy.
We hardly knew you. Cryptarch reputation ranks are gone. New exotic armor introduced in the Edge of Fate will be unlocked via completing the legendary campaign and not through Rahul. And it is, of course, unlocked per class. Sadly, I do not want to play this campaign 3 times on legendary. I'm just going to say that. Novel focusing for exotic armor from past expansions are available immediately with no need to decrypt engrams to unlock it. Costs remain the same for focusing. Focusing submenu has been reordered to put the most used screens up front. Ghost mods. Ghost mods, previous armor mods have all been deprecated as they no longer match stats on armors post version 9. They will be replaced with a new set of mods. Some activity ghost mods have also been taken away. We have planned to add new activity ghost mods in the future. Assyrian ciphers and Nightfall ciphers will not have a use in the Edge of Fate, but they will remain in your inventory, and we are not deleting them. We have plans for them in Renegades, and we'll tell you about it when our plans are more advanced. Sure, why not? Why not?
Right.
I'm so fucking annoyed by this. Sure, here's 2 things that we're not going to use in this expansion, but please don't delete them for 6 months.
Right.
Jesus Christ. This is the time to go farm your ciphers, I guess, if you want to hold on to 30 of them and see what we get. Oh, my sweet Jesus. Yeah, 2 more quick things to get through, and then we're done with this TWAB, and we can just like kind of digest the mountain of text. D2 expansion open access starting July 8th until July 22nd. All currently available Destiny 2 expansions, as well as all 3 episodes, will be available for free on all supported platforms: PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Microsoft Store, Epic Games. And the cherry on top, all the currencies, gear, title, triumphs, and cosmetics earned during the open access period are yours to keep. So if you have someone who wants to jump in and maybe try the game out, this is a great opportunity to get them back into it before we all lose ourselves to the Edge of Fate. And should be noted, when it says current, that means current as of July 8th. That does not include the Edge of Fate before anybody starts complaining or asking. I know nobody who listens to this show would do that, but there will be people on the internet who inevitably will do this. And then it's almost Bungie Day. Bungie Day is next Monday. Monday is Bungie Day.
Monday.
We are partnering with Twitch's Summer of Rewards campaign to bring you some fresh new emblems on the road to launch. From 12 a.m. July 7th until 12 a.m. on July 15th, gift a sub in the D2 category to receive the Pixel Perfect emblem. This is genuinely one of my favorite emblems I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one.
It's very Galaga coded, and Galaga is like one of the most formative games of my youth. So if that tells you how old I am, so very excited for that. And
also,
of course,
also the Avengers.
The
guy's playing Galaga.
That guy's playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. Bungie Day starting at 7/7 at 10 a.m. on the Bungie store. We'll have all new exciting savings, retired rewards, and much more. I need to know what retired rewards you're going to have, because I missed out on getting my raid pin from the final shape, and I'm still very upset about it, and I would like to get it. So we'll see what happens. A final update for you guys in terms of seasonal rewards. Both Heresy and Rite of the Nine end on July 15th. Claim all your rewards before they're gone, including Heresy seals and rewards, season pass items, vendor rewards, ritual vendor engrams, and Bungie rewards, because those are all going to disappear. I'm looking to see if there's anything else that we need to address in here. I don't think there is. Whew, man, that's a lot. Year of Prophecy is going to be a very big year, though. I think I speak for both of us when I say how excited we are to see what they do. There's a lot to take in the next 10 days. There's a lot to get through. Go earn your loot ahead of time. Don't sit on it until the end. Man, I'm excited. We had some cool stuff come out. Oh shit, I can't believe I almost forgot this. We had another article to get through this week.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, I'm so tired. I can't believe I forgot the whole Dev Insights blog from this. Oh Jesus Christ.
It's large.
It's not as big as I thought it was going to be, but okay, we're going to go through this. I was going to like wrap us up, get to a couple questions. Nope. There's a breakdown of tier 1 through 5 weapons. I'll fly through this real quickly. You guys already know tier 1, 2, and 3. Tier 3 is where you start dropping with 2 traits per column. That's equivalent to adept weapons now. Tier 4, enhanced weapon mods, including seasonal, enhanced weapon components like barrels and magazines. And at tier 5, enhanced origin traits, 3 traits per column, access to a unique ornament with a unique shader and unique combat flair. Very, very, very excited about that. When fully masterworked, weapons will also receive a bonus to all stats equal to the tier of the weapon, meaning a tier 5 weapon has plus 5 stats across the board on top of the plus 10 masterwork. So that's cool. New seasonal mods. This is what I want to get to. I saw somebody on Twitter pop up on my timeline right as I was refreshing. I was about to end out, and that's what reminded me to go to this. Seasonal weapon mods were introduced in Heresy, and we want to expand their role a bit to be available on all weapons within the season, not just a specific set where it makes some sense for that weapon archetype. In Edge of Fate, you'll be able to acquire the following mods by visiting Kepler and completing portal activities. And here are descriptions of the mods. Temporal Loader. This weapon loads ammo from reserves while dealing damage to targets that are slowed, frozen, or suspended. Temporal Tracker. Gain bonus aim assistance or projectile tracking for a moderate duration after picking up an orb of power. Very excited for that with some of these rocket sidearms. Temporal Adapter. This is the one that has me the most interested and feels very 9 coded. Readying this weapon grants it bonus stability, handling, and reload speed for a moderate duration that is borrowed from an alternate timeline version of this weapon.
Okay.
What? Huh?
Huh?
I saw Mactix's tweet about this. That's what made me go, oh shit, we probably should talk about this. And Bungie was like, oh yeah, you'll find out on launch day. Like, oh shit, I can't wait to play with this. This could be the funnest mod that we've ever had on a gun. This could be just game breaking in the absolute best way. I can't wait. This is going to be fun. Temporal Armaments. This weapon gains bonus damage versus Cabal and Vex targets. And Temporal Blast. This weapon now stores a portion of its damage dealt into charges. At 5 charges, the weapon's next shot creates an explosive blast on impact that damages nearby enemies. So, yeah, that could be really fun also. Really looking for the big booms. Pair that with like incandescent or destabilizing rounds, and that could be very volt shot. This could be really fun. I'm looking forward to that for sure. We've already talked about weapon tiers. There's some pictures showing you how the menus are going to look on the evolution of the guns, which I think is really cool. But the last thing we got to talk about here is how to earn the gear. You'll begin your journey on Kepler earning tier 1 gear. While gaining power, you'll earn new weapons and begin to occasionally find tier 2. Upon completing major accomplishment or raising seasonal power, you'll earn permanent upgrades to Kepler's reward tiers. Across Kepler, gear can be acquired via chests by exploring and uncovering secrets, playing campaign missions, and focusing engrams with local resources. Once the campaign is finished, new difficulties will be unlocked for replay, accessing higher gear tiers, and a post-campaign activity will appear from time to time, finding even more Kepler loot while it lasts. Throughout the portal, modifiers will up the challenge, but also increase your chances of more rewards. The harder the undertaking and the faster you complete activities, the higher score rewards you will earn to earn higher gear tiers at the end of the activity. Lastly, once the raid opens, players will find new challenges to acquire pinnacle tiered rewards. We won't spill what the raid team has cooked up just yet. That said, the challenge is mighty, but the rewards are just as sweet. Some players will set goals to acquire the highest tiers, aiming for those god roll tier 5 armor and weapon drops across the game. Others will target tier 3 rewards similar to the old adept weapons in terms of power and perk availabilities. Ultimately, you can decide what tier you wish to chase, and with 3 distinct ways to target gear tiers across Kepler, Portal, and Raid content, we're excited to see how people acquire the new gear. I'm also excited. This just feeds back into this is Destiny 3 without calling it Destiny 3. They are really putting emphasis on, we want you to go to Kepler and not have to go to, like, the fucking Cosmodrome.
Right.
So
it'd be interesting to see how much that stands. Like we're only staying on Kepler. We're not going back to these other locations. I wonder, because like that's always the big thing with like the seasonal content, right? Is like, oh, we get this great new location with the campaign and stuff, but then we always go hang out on like, I don't know, the moon for a season. And it's like, well, I've been here for 9 years. I don't want to be here. But we'll see. It's cool. I'm into it.
So I think that's probably going to do it for us, though.
Cool. Cool. Is that it? Is that really it?
I think that's going to be we do have a question I want to get to really quickly from Jiggly Panda. Thoughts on Kepler as a destination since we got a deep dive? Man, from what I've seen, I really like it, but I think to get like full thoughts, I need to engage with the story in the destination because we still know so little about it. And I got to try out those traversal techniques for myself. I'm very excited. As somebody who really loves finding secrets in this game, I'm very excited. This is the most exciting. If it lives up to it and it isn't like, oh, there's all sorts of secrets to discover, and it's really like Witch Queen, then, But if it's more along the lines of how we got the Pale Heart, then I'm very excited. And I hope it is. I really hope it is. I like that there is increased focus on, and I think it's because we have 2 smaller expansions a year now, right? I like that there is going to be more focus on everything being on Kepler. Like I imagine Renegades will take place in its like self-contained area. We know Ash and Iron is coming, which is going to take us back to Plague Lands. I'm excited if each major update focuses on a different area. I think that'll be really healthy for the game, and that lets you go back and kind of revamp these old areas again, right? So I think there's a lot of potential there. But yeah, I gotta be honest, when they start talking about Kepler, I kind of like tune out because I just want to go experience it for myself at this point.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my hype up too much for the destination because I've been burned like 3 out of 4 times over the last 4 expansions. The Throne World didn't really live up to what I thought it had the potential to be. Obviously, we all know how we feel about Neomuna. Europa was a shell of what it could have and should have been. And ultimately, like, the Pale Heart's the only thing. Pale Heart, I wasn't really, like, super stoked for, and then it was amazing. So, I really like how they handle, the overthrow events and the lost sectors and things like that. I'm really excited about that. And, yeah, I want to see how this goes. I want to see how these puzzles work in combat encounters. And I like that those abilities are only going to be on Kepler because that lets you take more risks going forward in expansions. Yeah. If you lock things to certain locations. And I think that lets you, play around with older destinations too. The downside is it's expecting a lot of people to remember a lot of things. So
yeah.
Corey, any final thoughts?
No, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this kind of new direction for the game. It's been such a long time since I had this feeling of I just want to go in and experience it for myself and not be spoiled and not be, have somebody tell me what's going on, right? I want to go explore this new destination. I want to see, they're clearly going to play with time somehow based on these artifacts and Lodi trailer and everything else. So I'm really intrigued, right?
Yeah,
I'm intrigued. I'm really interested. So we shall see. We shall see.
We shall see. It won't be long now. 10 days, man. 10 days.
Yep. 10 whole days. So, I just opened a video and it was like super loud. Hurt my ears. Don't do that, everybody. Anyways, well, Josh, we don't have a lower corner tonight, do we? We don't got a lower corner.
We do not. I'm really sorry about lore corners. For the last 6-7 months, I got really burned out on the lore. I'm going to be honest. I got really burned out on keeping up with it, and it just got to a point where I wasn't. With a new expansion, though, I want to try to get back into it. I want to make it a more regular thing on the show again. Just also like moving to shows every couple of weeks has made it really hard for me to remember where we were in terms of lore corners and like keep a cadence going. But as always, if you guys have any requests for lore to talk about, you can always hit us up in Discord, or you can message me on Twitter. I don't really use my social media as much anymore, but you guys can always find me on Discord. You can DM me. You can tag me in, the podcast channel or whatever, and ask for specific lore to be covered. That is the easiest way for you to tell us what you guys want to hear and what you guys want to talk about. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see what new lore comes out of this too. So
I'm fascinated.
I think that's exciting too, because we've been talking about the same lore for years at this point, right?
It's supposed to be a smaller saga too, like a shorter one. So I'm really hoping that the Fate saga is like, maybe 3 years long at most.
Yeah.
So a lot of potential here, though. A lot of potential.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get out of here, Josh.
Let's get out of here.
Everybody out there, thank you so much for watching and or listening to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. You can find us on Fridays on your podcast service of choice or on YouTube. Remember to like, subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you listen. Josh, thank you for your extra time tonight. Appreciate you, as always. And everybody out there, thank you so much for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.